Now, the Agriculture Department is urging owners of cattle, sheep and goats to vaccinate their animals against the deadly Rift Valley fever. Now, this disease is deadly to both animals and human beings. And the department says that recent rainfall in certain parts of the country is likely to cause an increase in Rift Valley fever infections. So joining us now from our Pretoria studio is Dr. Mpho Maja, who's the Director of Animal Health at the Department of Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development. Dr. Maja, good morning. Thank you so much for speaking to us about this very important subject.
Good morning, and good morning to your viewers.
Dr. Maja, can we just start by getting an explanation and you telling us a little bit more about Rift Valley fever and how it is transmitted in both humans and animals?
The Rift Valley fever is a disease caused by a virus. It is transmitted by mosquitoes, and that is why the warning is coming up now prior to an increase in mosquito levels. It affects mainly ruminants being your cattle, your sheep and your goats, and it also affects humans. Animals get infected from mosquito bites, which would then be in high mosquito-ridden areas. People get infected when they handle material from infected animals. It causes abortions and it causes death in young animals like lambs and calves. It does not generally kill older animals.
And then with regard to human beings?
In people, it does cause death. And it does cause, in milder cases, it would cause fever and general dilapidation, but then the person would recover shortly thereafter. Unfortunately, in most cases, it would affect people that would either have handled aborted material or the people that work in abattoirs, and therefore they get a large dose of virus, and it unfortunately kills them.
So what are some of the symptoms that people should look out for, Dr. Maja, in both humans and animals? And you spoke about mosquito infection. So which areas of the country are mostly affected by Rift Valley fever?
People should actually look out for general fever-like symptoms, headaches, and they should consult their medical doctor when those happen, especially if they have been in contact with infected material. In cattle, sheep and goats, you would first see it with abortion storms, especially in sheep. And with young lambs, they would succumb to the disease and would die. It's fairly a quick developing disease, so you wouldn't see much before your abortions and deaths. So people should just be on the lookout. Farmers should be on the lookout. As soon as they see those signs, they should be reported to the nearest state vet. The areas that would be mainly affected, so far in the country, we have seen it in the belt west of the Free State, the Northern Cape, that water belt. And I think from what ASWI is also indicating with the weather forecast, we should look out for rift literally anywhere in the country because of the good rainfalls that we've been waiting for and which we are currently receiving.
So how big is the problem actually, Dr. Maja?
It's actually not that big. If the farmers vaccinate, it is a disease that is well prevented through vaccination, and it causes good immunity in livestock. So if farmers vaccinate, we normally don't see disease, but we have what we call inter-epidemic periods, where there is a lull and there is no disease seen, and people tend to forget that there is such a disease. That is why we are coming up with this awareness. And then farmers stop vaccinating, and then it peaks and then causes a lot of mortalities and disruption in the farming community.
So we also do see people, even at a domestic level, keep goats, sheep, and cattle, even in certain instances. What should they do? Where can they go for assistance should they need to vaccinate?
The Honest Approach Biological Products sells vaccine. There are two types of vaccines. There is a live vaccine, which should please not be used in pregnant animals because it would cause abortions. And there is also a dead vaccine. They can buy the vaccine from any co-op. I'm not aware of any province that is supporting and providing vaccines for the farming communities, but they can approach their provincial departments for any assistance. And the other measure of preventing the disease is to just make sure that you don't have areas that promote breeding of mosquitoes. So remove whatever extra access, water pans in buckets, wheels, those types of environments, and make sure that you protect your animals from mosquito bites.
And Dr. Maja, what are the effects of Rift Valley fever, this disease, on the agricultural sector overall?
Generally, some countries would ban our products. For example, I know that China would ban our wool the minute we report a case of Rift Valley fever. And some other markets would also ban products such as wool, as well as mutton that we would be exporting. And then we generally would renegotiate the import requirements and exclude the areas that are affected. So it has a huge market on our tradeability.
Well, we'll leave it there for now. Thank you so much, Dr. Mpho Maja, Director of Animal Health at the Department of Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development, talking to us about Rift Valley fever and just creating awareness around this particular disease. And be on the lookout. If you need to vaccinate, please go out and approach your agricultural sector union, if you have one, to help with those vaccinations. With that, we're going to take a break.